Okay, g'day. Oh, we've got a few things happening to the bug. Been doing an extra lift. Not sure if I got too much actually, but I've gone one more tooth on the outer spline. I'd already gone one previously, so that's like 2 tooth. If I think it's too much, then I need to pull the spring bar out, or pull the swing arm out with the spring bar still attached, and pull that back, back up one spline. There's 2 different splines on the spring bar, or torsion bar, I think they're called. But anyway, the outer has less teeth and the inner has a lot more, which meaning that like 1 tooth on the outer spline is equivalent to probably 3 on, or 2 maybe on the inner one. So as I said, if I want to lower it back at just a little bit, but obviously it wasn't enough before, and so I've moved it 1 tooth on the outer spine. But if I want to bring it down just a little bit, well, then I can keep the swing arm on the outer spline of the torsion bar and move it 1 tooth on the inner spline. Anyway, I've made another video on that, but it's in 3 parts so far, and there'll be 4 parts, so I haven't posted that because I've got to edit it. I don't even know how to do it yet. I should have. But anyway, we'll get back to that. Because the other thing we're doing is I put this strawberry carby on it. And it idles better, accelerates a whole lot harder. But it'll get to about 70 mile an hour, that's about the maximum I could get out of the old carby anyway, and it was sort of struggling to get there. This gets to 70 mile an hour pretty quick, but it's still only at half throttle, and you put your foot down more than that, it doesn't really accelerate anymore, it doesn't really do anything much at all. So yeah, a bit of, I think I'll see a bloke later in the week. He seems to know a bit about carbies, and we'll see if we can get it to accelerate a bit past 70. But if it doesn't, well, 70 is the maximum you're allowed to do anyway. Also, see, this carby's off a Holden grey motor, 138. And I've also got one off a red motor off a 202, which is a bigger carby with slightly bigger jets and things, so I might also test that. A bit hesitant to do the 202 carby because I don't want to increase fuel consumption. I want to keep it good on fuel. But the old air filter wouldn't fit, and so the only real option now is to go for a pod filter. And the pod filter I can get for $31 at Autobarn. But I would have had to buy 3 of their connecting pipes, which would have come to $90. So I've made it up out of plastic drying pipe. And I had the pipe, 75mm pipe. And I had 2 90 elbows, so I've had to buy 145. And at local hardware, that was $10, but if I'd have got it in Bunnings in town, it probably would have only made 5 or 7 or something. But anyway, not a great expense. But I've now got to, because I want to pull the engine out again tomorrow. I'm still going to make a bracket. I put a bracket up under here. It's just bracket with a rounded bit of bar, hose clamp. But I need to put another one here. And it's sort of difficult to fully weld them, so I'm going to get that on tonight. But to make sure it's in the right place, I'm actually going to have to I've measured the pod filter in town, So I'm going to make one out of cardboard and I'll mock up one to put on the end there and just make sure I've got it in the right position before I make the bracket. As I said, I want to get that done because, I can tack it in place, but to fully weld it, I really need to have the engine back out, and I'll be doing that tomorrow, so I'll get it made up tonight. We'll be ready to go. And I don't know if I've already mentioned all that anyway on a previous video, but main thing I wanted to show you, I'm putting a tow bar under this is my engine cage. And once again, I go with, what I've got around the yard. I don't go buying stuff because I can't afford it anyway. And so I put this on. We've put a couple of, I can't think of the word, but braces on it. I can't think of the word. I know the word. But anyway, so that's that bar, both sides. It's welded both sides, welded in here. Just got to run a weld running full length on this side and again on the other side. So it's not going to snap off. I still got to square that up, block the ends in. I want to do all this first because I've been drilling and it's all full of shavings. I'll blow the shavings out and want to treat it with some rust converter too before I block that in. But it's the main thing I did want to show you. This is the other piece I made up. A lot of welding, a lot of cleaning up to do. I ground the back of it off because I needed to get the bolt holes in the right place. And bit of cleaning up. A lot of weld, but it's plenty strong enough. You couldn't break that if you wanted to. So I'm pretty happy with that, pretty confident. And so that's going to fit on the top here. I sort of took a guesstimate, not really a guesstimate, I measured the trailer height to the coupling with the trailer level, but it's not really on level ground, so it's sort of still a bit of a guesstimate. But I've done that at 500 high, 500 mil. But because this is hollow tube, and what you get with hollow tube, especially with big, these are 12 mil bolts. Hope you're not getting dizzy. That's the bolts that'll be holding it, 4 of them. And you can put like 200 pound pressure on that. Easy. And because this is hollow tube, in order to do that up tight, you'd end up crushing it. Or it'd crush over time and the bolts would come loose. So the other thing with having holes in tube like that is you're going to get water in there and rust it out. So what I've done is I've welded some other bits of pipe into it. They're not quite as thick as I would like, but they're going to have to do because that's all I got. Once again, I use what I've got. But just want to show you before I finish welding it. So what you do, as I said, you line your whole thing up to start with. Drill your holes, and then you go. You leave a gap. Well, that's sort of not quite in the center of the hole. It's been bolted up like it'll work. But you leave a bit of a gap around it. You have the hole bigger. Then you fill it in with weld. Then grind the top off. Run a drill or something through the holes. Clean them for the bolts. And that will allow you to tighten it up. Super tight and not crush the pipe. As I said, it will also keep the water out of it. So that's sort of the main thing I wanted to show you. But so we've got a few things coming. Got to do a lift. So it goes out of focus. It takes a while to focus again every time you move. So it means I shouldn't move too often. Now, when I got the cage on it, this engine cage. There's a little bit of weight in that, but it does pull it back down about an inch. And yeah, because now I want to lift the front, but the front's, well, the back's pretty easy, but the front is a bit more complex. I'm not sure if you can actually move the splines on the torsion bars. There's 4 torsion bars on the front, but or not. But yeah, the issue you get with that is that as soon as you lower it, you've upset your steering geometry, and what you get then is what they call bump steer, where you go over bumps and your front wheels are towing in and out, changing the wheel alignment as you go up and down over bumps. So yeah, that would be the issue with racing the front. And there is certain ways around it. But yeah, the best way to do it is to just drop the actual spindles. You buy what they call drop spindles, designed to make the car lower, but yeah, you want raised spindles. Yeah, but in reality, it is actually dropping it because it's moving the spindle down on the plate that it's on, so it's actually taking the wheel down, lifting the car up. But that way, you keep all your original steering geometry. You don't, move your arms or do any of that. You just drop the actual wheel. But so far, from what I've looked, they only seem to have these drop spindles or raised spindles for drum brake models. This is a disc, and probably the issue why they don't seem to make them is because once you drop the spindle, you've also got to then relocate your caliper. But yeah, I've got without actually taking the wheel off and looking at it, I've got a bit of a plan in my head. I might actually chop and modify my own ones. It's probably illegal actually to do that. But a lot of this sort of stuff that it's illegal, it's only to cover people who do bodgy jobs, who don't weld things up properly and like don't bevel them out and make sure they're solid. They weld the outside and leave a gap in the middle, and because if you chop weld something like that on the front, the hub, and it breaks, you're going to have an accident. You could kill yourself, someone else. Yeah, so it's a pretty serious matter. But as I said, they're if you do a proper job, you can actually make it stronger than original. And but yeah, I'm still contemplating that. I'd like to buy an approved part, but so far I haven't found one suitable. And there's also usual case of not being able to afford it either. But anyway, that's a in the future thing. I've got a few other things to do in the meantime. So yeah, I'll be building a console for it over the next few weeks too. Mainly because I've got a stereo filling up the hole in the dash and there's nowhere to put speakers. I don't want to cut holes in the firewall on the front to put speakers through, and if I sit them on boxes, they're hanging down, getting in the way, they're going to get kicked around, and it just doesn't work. And I've also got an issue of a heater. I don't have a heater, and I can buy cheap electric heaters, and they start at about $25. And even without the heater, you need a demister. That's the real issue I've had this winter, is the windscreen fogs up. You're freezing cold, and then you've got to open the flipper windows to unfog the windscreen. You got all this freezing cold air blowing in on you. So if nothing else, I need a demister. I'm either going to buy 2 units or make up a box with gates that I can direct it to windscreen or floor. But I don't want to put them in the front luggage compartment, you know. I don't want an ignition source, you know, a heated element in next to the fuel tank. So just in case anything goes wrong in there, or, you know, gets fumes, it only takes, you know, a fume leak from the fuel tank and you could blow the whole thing up, blow the car up and burn out. So, as I said, the obvious place is to build a console and put the heater in the console. So that's, yeah, another job coming up in the next few weeks. Anyway, as usual, I've rambled on a bit, so thanks again for watching, and hit a like, please. Bye.